Hello and welcome to the Vandy Christian Network, or VCN, from Virginia. My name is Pastor David Vandy, and today I have a one-on-one with a very good friend, a colleague and a brother who is a pastor, a journalist, a principal of a reputable college in Sierra Leone, and also a writer. You know, he's an author of a book. He just released his first book, and we are going to be talking about that. So let me just take this time to welcome you, Pastor Jacob Conteh.
Thank you, David. Good to be here.
So let's look into your pastoral work. I know that you are a member of the Seventh-day Adventist Church.
Yes.
And you know, you've been in the United States for quite a while, but you went back home to Sierra Leone to see how you can help
Yes.
with education in the country. So let's look at how did your pastoral work actually start?
Well, as you said, David, I attended the Seventh-day Adventist schools almost all my life. So I attended the Seventh-day Adventist Secondary School in Yile. And once I graduated, I went to Nigeria. I went to a seminary, which was then called the Adventist Seminary of West Africa. But the college was also affiliated with Andrews University in the United States. So I did get my degree from there, but of course, an Andrews University degree. Once I graduated, I went back to Yile, my alma mater, and became a chaplain and Bible teacher. This was in my early 20s. So I became chaplain and Bible teacher for 2 years, taught Bible, and acted also as a pastor. So that's how my career started. This way back.
That's way back.
Yeah.
And
in the 80s.
You know, in the other angle of your life is that you're a journalist.
Yes.
And so, you know, being a pastor, a teacher, and a journalist, you know, it's like you are taking your trend around the same circle of writing and talking and propagating the message.
Well, yeah, if you are a preacher, most of the time you're also a writer. When we were trained, we had a huge training on writing. I was lucky because Ile Secondary School had teachers from all over the world. My English teacher was from Dublin, but then my literature teacher was from the United States. So we had teachers from all over the world. So at an early age, we were trained on how to write good sentences. We also did public speaking because on Wednesday, you go out there and preach. So we had a combination of writing and preaching way back in secondary school. So that gave us a foundation.
And so how did your pastoral career actually help to enhance your journalism?
Oh, it's a great deal. One of the things that has happened in journalism, not just in Sierra Leone, but around the world, is many times journalists are afraid to speak the truth. So they kind of connive, and you see that in the elections in the United States, where people just blatantly just publish things that are false. But then, because of my Christian upbringing, I believe in ethics in writing. So if you Google my writing, which I love, most of the stories I write, I make sure they're authentic. I write from the heart, not from the head.
Wow. You are listening to the Vandy Christian Network, VCN. We broadcast online from the United States of America, and my guest today is Pastor Jacob Conteh, who was based here in the United States of America, but is now based in Sierra Leone, where he is principal of a reputable college in Sierra Leone, the College of Modern Technology.
Yeah, Canadian
College of Modern Technology.
Yes, in Mile 91.
In Mile 91. That is the northern part of Sierra Leone,
yes,
right?
Yes.
So how did you get into that work?
Well, everything's connected. The CEO and founder of the school, Moxie Sise, has been a friend of mine. And we met through writing, for years. We used to edit papers, which I will not call. Yeah, but no, seriously, we edited papers together, and through that we met for years, for the past 10 years. So when eventually the college was moving to the next level, he asked me whether I could come and help, and I did. So initially I went there to be a publicity man for the college, but then there was an opening to act as principal, and then he elevated me to that position.
Congratulations, man.
Thank you.
but you know, for somebody who has spent the best part of your life in the United States of America,
Yeah.
What made you just decide to say, okay, I've got this call from back home where I am going to leave all the luxury, all the facilities here in the United States of America, and I'm just going to trust God to go back to Sierra Leone to see how I can help?
Well, as Mooksin always tell people, I mean, usually when people run home, it's because they're running in trouble here in the United States. But in my case, we have a house here in Virginia, have kids, as you said, a job. But I just, you know, it's through prayer that I needed to go back and share my expertise. You know, as I've said in interviews, it's very easy to sit here in Virginia and write all about Sierra Leone, you know, what's wrong with the government, without being there. But I decided, let me go there and hands-on, see what I can do. Because not only am I principal, but I also teach, I interact with young people. So for me, it was really about going there and being part of the change, instead of always writing against.
Instead of writing when you are not there,
when
you decide to
there.
Be on the ground,
yes,
and see things firsthand for yourself.
Yes, that's why I went.
Wow. And sometimes people will say, oh, he's a pastor, he's not supposed to dabble in politics. He's a journalist, he's not supposed to dabble, just write what you want to write. Or when you go to the pulpit, just preach. Why should people say you are a pastor, you are not supposed to be involved in the political system of your country?
See, David, what's wrong with many Christian organizations is that they are too one-sided. And I know growing up as a child, I used to be like that. I used to feel like all you read is the Bible. But you know, life has to be a holistic approach. You can't just preach and then leave people out there to die. If there is something I can do to save humanity, that's what Jesus did. He spent less time preaching and more time healing and mingling. So I think that's where the church should move. It's okay to dance in the church and say hallelujah, but you need to know what's happening and then go out there and help, instead of just talking and shouting.
All right, this is the Vandy Christian Network, VCN, and my name is Pastor David Vandy, and my guest today is Pastor Jacob Conteh, who is the principal of the Canadian College of Modern Technology in Sierra Leone. Well, for those of you who don't know Sierra Leone, it is in West Africa, okay, surrounded by Guinea and Liberia. So it's a very small country of about 7 million people, but I tell you, we are people with very big hearts, and yes, we love our country. Okay, now we'll be right back. When we come back, we're going to talk to Pastor Jacob Conteh about his new book that has just been published by Amazon. So stay where you are and don't go away. We'll be right back. Welcome back to my one-on-one interview with Pastor Jacob Conteh, the principal of the Canadian College of Modern Technology in Sierra Leone, who is also a writer. He has just released a book that has been published by Amazon. He is a journalist for several years, and of course, as you've heard, he is a pastor of the Seventh-day Adventist Church all over the world, because wherever he goes, as long as there is a Seventh-day Adventist Church there, he goes and perform his duty. So let me come back to you, Pastor Conteh. You've just written a book. Mm-hmm. The title of the book again?
Is From Freetown to Lagos. From
Freetown to Lagos.
Short stories from West Africa.
I actually wanted it to come from you, because I was going to ask you, from Freetown to Lagos, short stories. Why from Freetown to Lagos?
Well, you know, West Africa is connected. And often when people hear the word West Africa, you need to understand that we have two West Africans. Basically, you have French-speaking West Africa and then English-speaking West Africa. So you have the Gambia.
The Francophone and
Anglophone. So you have the Gambia, Sierra Leone, Liberia, Ghana, and Nigeria, which are Anglophone. So, but again, I would have said from Banjul to Lagos, but come on, man, I'm from Sierra Leone. It has to be from Freetown. So, well, basically, it's covering those countries.
Okay, so well, does the stories in this book of yours, From Freetown to Lagos, whatever you've written in there, does it relay stories that are connected from Freetown to Lagos?
Yes. You know, David, one of the saddest things that is happening in West Africa is most of the kids are so immersed into the American pop culture that they don't know anything. And with the British football, with the soccer. So if you ask a child about Gambia, they know more about London and Washington than Banjul or Lagos. So these stories kind of connect. So you have this kid in Liberia, Miata, who struggled through the war and escaped. But then you also have Zoaka and Femi in Nigeria and Kaduna, who fought through the war, to bring unity. So it kind of connects that all of West Africa. And so I want the kids to read instead of just watching TV or YouTube.
And somebody telling them a distorted story about Africa or West Africa.
Yeah. These stories are all positive. So it's based on young people who succeeded. I mean, I think of, like Miata, she struggled. I mean, then she was able to succeed and eventually got a degree. Or the first story in the book, Hawa and the shiny stone, It's a girl in Masabendu who found a stone and it changed the lives of the family. And eventually she was able. So these are positive stories in West Africa. Not just the worst.
Not just, okay, yeah, but sometimes people tend to write stories that are giving negative connotations to Africa. You decide to look on the positive side.
Well, I've always bring the positive side, and I need to go on politics because, again, right now I'm not on the political scene. But like when I hear a story about all the terrible things happening in Sierra Leone, I look at the positive things. I told you before, I wake up in the morning, take a walk, eat organic food. I mean, I'm able to live a life that is really free of worries. I don't even have an address, so I have no bills. So to me, that's positive.
So what you're trying to say here is, with all the negative things that people are writing, you are in Sierra Leone and you feel safe, so safe that what they're writing is not correct?
Well, again, it's all in the perspective. It's what people look at. I look at the fact that I can wake up on mile 91, dress up in the morning at like 8, and attend church at Sakila Road, and come back home without any problem.
From mile 91 to Freetown,
and
you attend church,
and come back, and it's all fine. If I want to do shopping, I can drive to Bo and buy stuff or Kenema and come back.
And then you come back to mile 91 with no worries.
To Port Loco. I've been to McKinney, just on a ride, and come back. So to me, I've never been, been happier because it's freedom.
Have you ever been intimidated?
No, never, no. And again, it depends on the attitude. I'm a very positive. So if a cop stops me, a police officer, I'm very nice, and I don't have any problem. No.
All right. Well, this is Jacob Conteh we have here as our guest, and you're hearing it firsthand from a man who is based in Sierra Leone himself.
Yeah.
Telling us about the positive things that are happening there. And now let's look at you are an educationist, and you are the principal of a college in Sierra Leone.
Yes.
And now the government of Sierra Leone made education free.
Yes.
They call it the free quality education.
Yes.
From your own perspective, as somebody who went to school in Sierra Leone, studied in Nigeria and the United States, and a journalist, a pastor, an author now, how would you say the education system is coming? Because these days, people like we said earlier, people tend to take too much to social media and discredit the ability of the work that the government is putting into the education system. How would you describe what you have seen so far, and also being a principal of a school compared to what we used to have? Because now, people say, oh, even this WASC exam that was just coming, oh, the kids failed and da 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 da. Do you think this human capital development that the government is trying to work on could happen within a year, or it's a long-term project?
Well, David, let me first give credit to where credit is due. I wholly support the free education. People say, oh, it's not a big deal. I spent most of my time in and out of school because of school fees. When I was in class 3, because of 1 Leone, I couldn't go to school for a whole year. It happened again in Form 2. I had to leave Freetown, return to the village, and become a farmer because of school fees. So free education is necessary. Now let's come to the performance. Education can only do well when people take personal responsibility. David, you and I grew up in homes where you had to study at night. You had to read. So many of these kids, they just go around, they're on social media. So if you don't study, you can't do well. I have a nephew, Samuel Conteh. You can check me online. He got 9 subjects, passed all of them. All of them. All. I'm not talking pass. Credit, 3. Chemistry, 2. All of them. And he's in Port Loco. He didn't go to one of the elite school. But because my niece, my Binti, is very serious, so he passed. The other nephew is also in Cambia. Same thing. He passed 8 subjects. So it's on personal thing. It's not the government. It's not the government.
So
you
think that in the long term, this free quality education is something that is bound to succeed?
Of course, it will, because you have more people coming to school. You can't just let a few people, privileged people, get education. It has to be universal. I studied in Nigeria. It was universal education. That's why you have more doctors and lawyers today from Nigeria than anywhere else.
Okay. We have people that are based here in the United States, especially people from Sierra Leone. Mm-hmm. And when the pandemic hit the United States, schools were closed and everything, jobs, everybody was supposed to be home.
Yeah.
And at some point, they decided to reopen schools. Mm-hmm. But when schools were reopening, the schools decided to do school online from home. Mm-hmm. Just like some of us were working from home.
Yeah.
They said, let them do it from home. And parents of these kids, that some of them have never touched a computer before, that don't know what that is. Some of them who know even touched a computer before don't know how the school system online works.
Yeah.
They were grumbling, but they had to learn how to help their kids at home, because the school takes it as this is their responsibility, that the kids have to learn from home, and you, the parents, have to be there to make sure your kid is in class, online, on time, well dressed and prepared, But when it comes to Africa, like we do it in Sierra Leone, the same people who are learning here are the same people who go online and say, oh, they are lying in Sierra Leone. Oh, this is not happening. That is not happening. Oh, why? How can they do the kids like this? The kids, the examination for the kids are so difficult. They can't pass it. But they are here studying their kids. Mm-hmm. Even with something that some of them even stopped working. Mm-hmm. They had to stop work.
Yeah.
So that they can help their kids. But back home, they say, oh, it's a lie. They don't want the kids. The examination is too difficult for the kids. How can you?
Well, let me just start with COVID-19, because that's the biggest thing now. Yesterday, I needed to take a COVID test here in Virginia. Spend the whole day. For the past 3 days, just to get a COVID test. I drove all over Fredericksburg. There is no coordinated effort. Even the walk-in clinic, it took me like all day to find.
Now you have to go online and book an appointment.
When I wanted to come back here to the US, I sat there in mile 91, went to the COVID website, paid money. So you have 2 options. You can pay the regular $500,000. That way you go to any clinic, or you can pay $700,000. Then they come to you. So I paid $700,000. Went to the SD Mission headquarters. The guys came, took a swab. 3 days later, they texted me. They sent me a text about my negative results and sent me an email.
When you say $500,000, that is less than $50.
That's $50. Let's
put it at $50.
Yeah, let's say $50. Yeah, I know it's much more. I had to use my insurance. Then let's talk about the response. When this thing broke, I mean, the government was ready. I think because of the experience with Ebola and the Civil War, people are ready. We were able to stop this thing because the first of all, you couldn't travel from Tonkolili to Bo. The funny thing is, I live in my 91. I'm 10 minutes to Mayamba Junction, where I do all my shopping. I couldn't go to Mayamba Junction because it's a different district. But they did that so that you do not, take the disease from one thing. So all this time, 91 by 91, we've never had any positive case. Zero.
Wow.
Zero.
Zero.
So, at one time they did a 3-day lockdown, but you can't do a long lockdown. People have to go to the market. But the thing is, they followed through. When you test positive in Sierra Leone, you are isolated right away, and there is social distancing. Then they also do tracing. Here, nobody cares. In fact, again, I hate to say it because I'm an American citizen, but the whole response here has been very, very, just very pathetic. So so that's the thing. So the schools were closed. My college was closed, but guess what? We're about to start online classes. Some of the colleges already, Sajala did online, IPAM, so we have the capacity to do that. So when people sit here, I don't know, maybe they're thinking of Sierra Leone in the old days, or which Sierra Leone are they thinking about? I'm sitting there watching CNN, I follow everything, we have unlimited internet in my place, so it's not like we are living in an old, we follow up what's happening. So many of the kids in my school, they're able to go online, they do their stuff.
I hope those of you who are watching will take heed to what Pastor Conteh here have just said, and let's think positive.
Yeah.
At least let's think positive for once, because even with the work of God that we do, we try to look at the positive side of things.
Yeah.
Teach positive messages, and I think that will be very helpful. And I want to believe with you as a pastor, as a journalist, as a writer, and a teacher, you are able to interact more with the community. It's not just your Christian community, but you interact with everybody.
But David, my thing is, if Christianity doesn't have a positive effect on you, then you are not supposed to be a Christian. My mantra is always Romans 12. Do not overcome evil with evil, but overcome evil with good. And because of that mantra, I don't have any enemies. I don't have enemies. And again, we need to go there. So I taught ethics, and when I taught ethics, of course I brought my Christianity there, the different, because I remember asking the kids, suppose you walk out and you see $200. Will you, it dropped from some, will you? They're like, no, that's God's blessing. I had to tell, no, that's somebody losing their money. We have to teach ethics. We have to teach behavior. And when I taught journalism, also I told them, your sources have to be authentic. Sierra Leoneans like to say, Nami they tell you. That means I just got, anytime it's Nami they tell you, then it's not authentic.
There's no authenticity about it.
That means
believe me, Nami tell you.
They tell you, no, it has to be something that you can vet for.
All right. Well, I want to say a very big thank you to you, Pastor Jacob Conteh, and I wish you good luck in your endeavors. And I've already got your book.
Okay.
I bought an online copy, the Kindle copy.
And let me just say a little word there, because the thing is, I know many Christian groups say, well, a Christian should not write fiction. Well, all the parables in the Bible are fiction. Those are fiction. It's funny how sometimes Christians take things to, the Bible is written, there are stories there that are fiction. Like the man, about the sower, that's fiction. But you know what?
That's what Jesus called it, parables.
Yeah, parables.
They are parables. Not that they are real things that happen. These are parables.
These are true to life stories than teachers. So I know, especially my Adventist guys, and many of them will be on me. You write fiction. Well, it's just true stories that teach morality. So please go read the book, buy it online, go to Kindle and, text me or email me.
It's a book about where you come from.
Yes.
It's a book about Africa. It's a book about Sierra Leone. It's a book about West Africa.
Gambia,
And we want the kids to be able to learn stories from their people.
And the other thing, David, as Sierra Leoneans, we have to start writing. Most of our books are from Ghana and Nigeria. And again, I'm not making a picture, but I think we should work with the government so we can promote books written by Sierra Leoneans.
Yeah, but there's this the Sierra Leone Writers series.
Oh yeah, my book is going to be published on a Sierra Leone Writers
you
series.
should.
I've already contacted them. It will be out. It will
Malam
be out.
O and Panabum
Yes.
and others.
So we are going to publish this on the Sierra Leone Writers series, and it will be out there in a few months.
And we're looking forward to more of the Sierra Leonean books to be used in schools and colleges back home in Sierra Leone. So
yeah, I think the government is willing.
Inspire.
It's just that people are not writing.
Yeah, I'm seeing a lot of books now coming out from Sierra Leone. People are coming up. I think if the government starts using these books in schools and colleges, I think that will inspire more people to write.
Well, we'll talk to the government. I'll go to the ministry because we need to write more, and I have more books coming, especially about your boy.
All right. Well, thank you so much. It has been a wonderful pleasure to have you back here in the United States and to have you for the first time in the Vandy Christian Network studio, VCN. And I hope that whenever you are back here, you will find time to be with us.
I'm totally impressed with this studio, and I'm part of it. Thank you for inviting me.
Thank you so much, and I wish you good luck, and all the students out there at the Canadian College of Modern Technology. I wish them all the best. And big thank you to Muxin, who is the founder, the proprietor of the school, of the college. Thank you so much, Muxin. You
gave me a voice.
To help these children with education. Man, that is one big thing that you have done. May God bless you, and may God bless your family. Thank you all for watching us today. I am Pastor David Vandy, and don't forget to join us via our website, www.vandychristiannetwork.com. You can also check out our Facebook page, Vandy Christian Network, Instagram, Vandy Christian Network, and also our YouTube page. Everything that we're doing will be on these pages on social media for you. So once again, thank you, and God bless you.
Thank you.